This is episode 19 of my Hull Barnsley Railway Series. We are documenting the entire 66-mile line that ran from Hull all the way to Stairfoot. Click the card above or see the earlier episode links in the description box.
Hello and welcome to ALW Research Team. Today we're in Barnsdale. Behind us there is the west portal of the Barnsdale Tunnel. Let's continue with this railway series. Looking up there we can see the depth of the railway cutting on this lovely winter's day in the rain. Just at the side of the cutting here there's a load of old Hull Barnsley type bricks that have possibly been part of a parapet of an accommodation bridge or something else. If you know, viewers, please leave a comment, because it's in the cutting here. There's just a large pile of Hull Barnsley type bricks dumped in the cutting. They've been here for a very long time, as you can see here. If you look here, viewers, can you see that in the rock? In the centre of the screen now you can see the pick marks from the navvies that have dug this cutting through the rock face. You can see the tool marks in the rock there. So viewers, we're west of the Barnsdale Tunnel now, and this is Wrangbrook Junction. This was where the main line went off towards Cudworth and Stairfoot, and then one line 80 metres that way, or 4 chains, went off towards Wath upon Dearne, and then just here there was a fork that went to the left that way, and that went off to a place called Dynamite. There was, interestingly, up until about 1925 there was 3 signal boxes here, and then when the re-signalling scheme in the 1920s removed the necessity for 2 of the signal boxes. There was north, east and west, and then one of the signal boxes was upgraded to do all of the work, and that was just called Wrangbrook Junction. So this is a public footpath. We're going to go over here and see what is left of this, what was once a very, very busy railway area. The Barnsdale Tunnel is that way, then it comes across here and goes off towards Stairfoot that way. Dynamite is to the left and Wath is further that way. Wath being Wath upon Dearne.
I think this would have been trackbed level we're on top of now.
Yes.
And there's a definite triangle or Y shape, as though, you know, there was a branch that went off.
Yeah, there was 2 forks off the Hull and Barnsley that ran east to west here. Barnsdale that way, Stairfoot that way, and then one branch came off here towards Dynamite, and then a little further along that way there was another one that went off towards Wath upon Dearne. The Hull and Barnsley branched off a bit here because there was a lot of smaller sections that went to little collieries, works. There was steel works and things back this way. Actually finding the Hull and Barnsley track bed is a bit difficult because the ground's very undulating, as if it's all been reshaped after the closure of the railway, but I'm starting to think this is the Hull to Stairfoot section, completely overgrown, smashed to bits. This is it. So the trains went that way to Stairfoot, that way towards the Barnsdale Tunnel and Hull. A little later on in this series there is another tunnel to do. If we get in it, that will be part of this series, and that is the Brierley Tunnel. 628 yards roughly, a shorter tunnel, one of the shorter ones, but part of it is still there. The A628 runs on some of it, and that was filled in, but some of it is still there, and we'll see if we can get in it. We might need wellies for that one because I'm told it's rather boggy. But this is the remains of Wrangbrook Junction right here.
Meanwhile.
Hey viewers, so we're just near Wrangbrook Junction. This road here is Wrangbrook Lane. These cottages behind me here, it is rumoured that Hull Barnsley built these railway cottages back in the late 1800s for the workers who were employed at the sidings just here, and then the main Wrangbrook Junction, which was just over there. Wrangbrook Junction. The Barnsley Tunnel is just over there and back towards Kirksmeaton. I can't find any records to say that these were built by the Hull and Barnsley Railway, but I don't know who else would have built railway cottages here at this location at Wrangbrook Junction. So if you know otherwise, do you know if these were definitely built by the Hull and Barnsley Railway? If you do, please leave a comment. If you've got anything to add, please get in touch in the comments box below. Right, we're going to move on now. So viewers, we're at Upton and North Elmsall railway station. This is part of the remains of the platform. As you can see, it's got a brick and concrete capped platform here. This was part of the passenger services that were withdrawn in this area long before British Railways took over. Now the platform edge has still got the decorative brick feathering on it, and the concrete capping is still extant. You can see there the trowel mark where someone's gone along with a trowel and put that edge on it back in the 1880s when building this platform. And above, behind there, we can see the British Rail type boundary markers in the centre of the screen there, and going off to the left, they're extant all the way along. And then Dave's just pointing out some brickwork. There's been a building there that's been just smashed up and left when they've come along track lifting in the well, this area was kept open for colliery work after 1959 when the railway closed. Is this the other platform?
Yes.
Certainly something. If it's not a cattle dock, it has been something, Dave, because there's a large concrete part there and then brickwork here. So if it hasn't been a building, it's been a loading platform, because this would correlate to it having double track, which it did have.
Does it have a bridge over?
Quite possibly.
One's a upline, one's a downline.
If I can find any old photographs that are copyright free, I'll put one up. If not, you'll just have to use your imagination. There are plenty of images on Google, but you can't just take them off and put them up on YouTube. So looking around, you can see a lot of fence posts along there, and then this is the east end of the platform, and then the west end of the platform's down there. And I can just imagine one of the steam locomotives with the specialist passenger cars on it pulling up here. Stairfoot is that way. Kirksmeaton and the Barnsley Tunnel is that way. Ooh, Brierley Tunnel. Brierley Tunnel's down there, not too far away. We'll hopefully get in there in the future, so stay tuned. That was a 628 yard tunnel from memory, and that is that way. And that's when we really start getting towards Barnsley then, and the Stairfoot terminus. So we're just going to go up into the woods now and find Dave. This area here, all this was cattle docks. So little sidings, or long sidings with little platforms to load cattle onto the railway cars, because predominantly this area was freight. Passenger services ended in the 1920s, I believe, off memory. I'll recheck that. But yeah, passenger services ended long before the freight services ended in this area. Freight really did keep this railway alive. You can see there's been a lot of activity here in the past. So we're at the east end of the platform, which is just here, and Dave's just found there was a public footpath that ran from North Elmsall, which is over there, and it came to this station, and that was the public footpath. So the passengers would have come in this way. You can see the end of the British Railways fence there, the style footpath, North Elmsall over there, and it comes here to this platform of the former Upton and North Elmsall Railway station, and then all the freight services and goods could have been loaded here or on the docks over here. The cattle docks, as they're named on the old plans, were all over here. There was at least 3 lines over there, and then going back that way there was lots of colliery and little works lines over there, scattered all over that way back towards Kirksmeaton and the Barnsdale Tunnel, this way towards Stairfoot, and the next thing along here is the Brierley Tunnel. By thing I meant feature, but I couldn't remember feature when I'm narrating. We're now going to go along the line to the next station stop, which is Hemsworth and South Kirkby. Hey viewers, so we're on the site of the former Hemsworth and South Kirkby railway station, which was situated just over there. I believe that is a more modern building there, and it wasn't the station. The station building was over here. The track bed was around this sort of orientation. This road is a new road that wasn't there back then, and then the track bed goes off this way towards the Brierley Tunnel. So down here we rejoin the former track bed. We can see the walls of the cutting either side there. Just a shallow cutting at this stage, but it does get deeper a little further along, where they had to dig the tunnel, which is named Brierley Tunnel. This is a feature that is present in this area of land, this rock that had to be cut through. We saw this earlier in the series at the Barnsdale Tunnel cutting. There was a lot of this rock formation, and it all had to be cut away. We can see there's like a slot cut into it. We can see there where they've actually drilled through. This is very wet, so I'll try and show you down the hole if it focuses in. Can you see down there, viewers? In my finger. Hopefully you could see through that. I can't see what you were seeing, but yeah, that is a hole, and that would have been dug in 1884 or 1885, just before this railway was opened, and that would have been done by the navvies that were building this cutting, drilling through the rock to then would they drill it and put dynamite in it and blast it?
Probably.
Yeah, so that is a dynamite hole. Do you reckon these cracks were formed then when they blasted it? So they've drilled down, dropped a stick of dynamite in, got to a safe distance, lit it and blew it up.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's how they blasted their way through the rock here. And that's why just behind Dave there's like a V shape in the rock, because he would have done that all the way along here. They would have drilled a series of holes, put dynamite in, and just simply blown it up to make the way through. We can see there's another V shape broken into the rock face there, probably again where they've drilled it and then blown it up to cut through the rock as they made this cutting. So that way back to Hemsworth and South Kirkby railway station. Hemsworth, the town or village, is just over there, and then the Brierley Tunnel is this way, and the village of Brierley is over that way.
Join ALW Research Team next Thursday at 4 PM UK time as we enter the flooding Brierley Tunnel, which has been filled in with concrete at one end. This really is an epic adventure that should not be missed. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share.
Looking over my shoulder, looking back at your door. In my head it goes over and over. Should I leave or want it more? Looking